Why do skeletons hate fishing? They don't have any guts. What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about how to get to 10 million gold on the Elder Scrolls Online. Some of you might think that this is a huge milestone. Some of you guys might think it's a small milestone. But regardless, I'm going to help you guys get to that milestone today, regardless of the console that you guys play on. Because as we talk and as we kind of reference some of the other videos that I've done, such as the inflation video, why inflation on console is so different than PC, you're guys definitely going to see a little bit of a dichotomy. But the important thing is that even though gold is weighed differently, you guys can still easily get to that 10 million gold mark relatively simply with just a few simple tips and tricks. But before we jump into the video, we are on the road to 14/15,000 subscribers. If you guys would not mind hitting the subscribe button as a quick, kind of shout out to, you guys. You guys are basically the whole reason I make these videos. This is actually a suggestion by you guys, as is pretty much the last 10 videos that I produced have all been suggestions by you guys yourselves. So shout out to you guys. You guys have made this all possible. And I thank you guys who are watching this and are already subscribed and that are considering subscribing. Firstly, let us talk about the things that you will need to kind of do this effectively and the most efficiently. Now, there are obviously ways that you can do this faster. There are ways that you can do it slower. The easiest thing to make this relatively simple is you're going to want to be at least level 160. You're going to want to at least have 160 champion points, and you're going to want to at least have a character that is able to farm at CP 160. Additionally, on that same, kind of character account, you're going to want to be in as many Mournhold or Vivek traders if you're on PC as possible, because today we're going to be talking about how to really juice up your passive income. Because, in my opinion, a lot about getting to the 10 million gold mark is less about you going out and farming gold every single day. It's more so about farming gold efficiently, doing the things that you like to do, but also making sure that you are maximizing your profits when doing so. So we're going to talk about guild traders as well. There are ways that you can do this without a guild trader. We'll talk obviously about that too. We'll also talk about price checking as well as a couple other things throughout this video. Now, let us talk about guild traders and quickly why they're so helpful. You can see that currently I am in my sell page for items that I could whip out of my inventory, and I don't really have anything super exciting, but you can see at the bottom where it says create listing, I have 27 out of 30. Now, why this is so helpful is because, say you're on console, for example, and you're selling things for between an average of 10,000 and 20,000 gold. So let's say average 15,000 gold, 30 slots. That means that if 30 of your slots sell, you're going to get 450,000 gold, give or take, depending on, if it's closer to that 10 or 20,000 mark. We're going to talk about how you can get those 10 to 20,000 gold items. And obviously there'll be some, bigger ticket items, hundreds of thousands of gold, especially if you're getting into mask farming. There might be some cheaper ones. Say, for example, you're getting rid of some of your kudas, you're turning them into, maybe some glyphs and things. And this is all console based, obviously. A single perfect row pretty much sells for 100 plus K on PC. That's why I'm using console as the example, because it feels less clickbaity to be like, oh, you guys could become to get 10 million gold in just 10 hours. And it's well, there's a big caveat to that only works on PC. So if you're a PC player watching this, the numbers are going to be significantly higher for you, because everything on PC is pretty much at least 4 to 5 times more expensive. But that's why I'm using console prices as a gauge. So that way, as a PC player, you could just make more gold. And then console players don't have to be like, what the hell? This doesn't make me a lot of money. And as a quick note, you can see that I am currently in 4, which means that once all of my guild listings have been cleared out, I will have made on average 1.8 million gold just by listing up items on a guild trader. And this is going to be a very controversial way to make 10 million gold, because I know that there's a lot of people in my audience who don't like paying dues, who don't like joining guild traders. I just will remind you of two things: that there's free guild traders, and this is essentially passive. I'll get into the specifics of how you guys are going to be able to passively do this, but it's very important to get that passive income because you could certainly take your entire items and go zone to zone to zone to sell these. But what's easier? Being in a guild trader and just listing them up at a fair market rate and, getting tons of them, or just going zone to zone to zone and, being, this item for this amount and this item for this amount. That's a lot of active work that you're going to have to do just to subvert this kind of guild process. You certainly don't need to be in 4 more and hold traders. That is definitely, you don't have to go that route, but you are able to do that should you want to do that. You could be in 5 if you wanted to. There are Xbox players who make alternative accounts to have even more guild listings, because essentially you can mail items to a secondary account. It can be in 5 additional traders because if you've got an Xbox Gold account and you've got the Game Pass, you can already play on a secondary account. You could use that to get 5 additional listings up for free, which can be very helpful for you as well. 5 additional guild slots. But let's talk about how you guys are going to fill that inventory. So I obviously love the Elder Scrolls economy, so I made a gigantic cheat sheet Google Drive page that I always go over when I make my Market Watch videos, which likely will be coming out here soon because we're about to tick over into a new month. However, what I love about this is that if you're confused or you're like, oh, I got 30 slots to list up, I have not a clue what I should be selling, this is basically everything that will sell in any capacity. So if you see stuff on here from the consumables to some of the overland sets that are non-DLC, you certainly don't even have to have the DLC zones to do this. You have overland sets in the DLC areas. You've got PvP sets that you can purchase with all that AP you've been getting through Mid-Year Mayhem. And if you didn't get a lot of AP during Mid-Year Mayhem, guess what? It's going to be another one here soon. You got Imperial City sets. You got crafted sets. You literally could just go in, and if you have extra slots, just craft some generic crafted sets at CP 160, list them up on the market to take up some of those slots. The key to getting to 10 million gold is utilizing your slots to the max, and that essentially breaks down to just having items listed consistently and making sure that you are making a healthy profit off of those items, which we'll talk about here after we talk about how you guys can help get some of these free listing spaces. Because a lot of people, I think, believe that it's very hard to fill 120 slots, but it is exceptionally easy. So now let's talk about some of the easy ways that you guys can actually fill up some of those slots. So I have Vardenfell pulled up because I am actually sitting in a Vardenfell delve right now where I'm basically going to be rolling for these 3 sets, all of which have a huge profit margin, with War Maiden and Warrior Poet probably having the higher of the 2. With War Maiden probably being the highest. During the PvP event, I was able to sell War Maiden pieces for 20 to 25,000 gold. So essentially, every time I would kill the Delve boss that would spawn in, I would basically be rolling for a easy item that would be between 15 to 25,000 gold, potentially even getting more items depending on luck and whatnot. You can actually boost these odds by going into a public dungeon, but what's really nice about doing like the Delve method or a world boss, for example, is that you can be doing almost completely passively. For example, I have my companion out. When the boss spawns in, my companion will actually tank it, my pet will kill it, and I can loot the boss, and I can actually walk away, I can come back, I can do work on the computer, I can do work on YouTube, and I can get those items passively. The most effective way to do this is obviously to do the public dungeon routes, because public dungeons have such a high boss spawn rate. Obviously, those of you who remember the Forgotten Crypts inside of Deshawn, their public dungeon used to be farmed to all hell for that specific reason. But I prefer using these DLC zones. Even though their public dungeons and delves can be a little bit harder, you're able to get more money from them because the sets generally have more value, because they've not been out as long. And here you can see that loot. Those Warrior Poets boots will probably sell for about 15 to 20,000 gold, especially with a nice little PvP event coming up on the horizon. Basically, all I did was click a few buttons, throw an item up on the market, and then kind of wash my hands of the rest of it. Another easy way to actually fill up those guild listings is to item flip. Now, a lot of people love Mournhold traders, but people forget that there are other traders too. There's actually a nice little trader in the Mournhold Outlaws Refugee. There are actually tons of really good guild traders with amazing deals inside of these outlaw refuges because realistically, a lot of people who are not necessarily in a very good trade guild might not know how to price check their items, so you can find items that are worth tens of thousands of gold listed for a few hundred. Why this is nice is because, again, we're trying to fill up our guild slots, doing basically however we wish to play the game, and then we can utilize, item flipping as a way to do it. For example, I like to go into these refuges to find different deals on motive pages that I don't already have, maybe some style pages I don't have. But if I notice something is marked extremely below its market value, I can purchase it and use one of my guild slots to then profit off of the difference. When item flipping, I find the easiest thing to do is to search by time, and then you're just looking for things that you feel like you're easily going to be able to flip. I prefer sets such as, Phoenix Moth would be something that I would consider. However, what I would remind myself is that a lot of people already have this set because it was given away essentially for free. So then in a continuing kind of scrolling down, I noticed things like Crafty Alfiq. It's level 50. It's up to 160. That is an item that we can definitely sell for easily between 8 to 12,000 gold. Same with this Stiggins belt for 1,300. This is a hugely popular PvP set. It gives you one of the easiest procs in the game for basically a free weapon and spell damage, and its 2, 3, and 4 lines are absolutely phenomenal, so we are going to snap that up. This Mara's Balm Shield, even though it's going to be nerfed, is definitely more valuable than 2.6. I say we could at least bind that up for 10,000. Arms of Powerful Assault is one of the rarer sets in the game, so to see it for only 1.7k gold is another steal. We're probably going to list that up for another 10,000 gold. Somebody's actually created Hunting's Rage, which is definitely interesting, for 551 gold. You can see that they've got the previous event motive up here, so I'm actually going to buy this for myself just because I don't have it. And you can see that they've got just a bunch of other things. Oh, this is an amazing deal too. The Scraps of Mistral or Minstrel's Cloth was going for about 90 to 110 on Xbox, which means that I could wait a whole calendar year and double my gold on it, or I could use it to buy it for myself. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to do that just because a lot of people are not searching for this item anymore, but I'm definitely going to make a mental note that there's 4 of them right here. And then as you kind of go down the list, you can see that the items aren't necessarily usually as good, because you're gonna be sniping them as they come up. However, Kind World's Cruelty is another really good one. 1.3k. We're gonna list that up for 10, and this is easily how you guys can go through and fill up those guild slots exceptionally easily. And what's nice is it also kind of stimulates the economy because I am buying these sets, and then I'm able to list them back up. So the person I'm buying them gets a little bit of gold. I'm able to get a little bit of profit in the future. It actually helps that kind of circular economy. Another little fun thing that actually happened is while we were actually just buying those items, one of our prismatic defense glyphs sold. So as a really easy tip for you guys also is that if you have a lot of gold materials, like I have tons of kudas that I've acquired, combine them with some glyphs, list them up on the market. It is free gold, and if you're not using it, you might as well list them up. I currently have 40 kudas in my inventory. There's no way that I'm going to go through 40 kudas in the near future. So this is a great way for me to kind of convert some of my gold through my gold materials. And then we had some of our War Maiden stuff sell. So it is just a really good day to list up some easy stuff that we've been getting. And now we're going to relist some of those items that we just bought. So next, we're just going to start listing up some of the random gobbledygook pieces that we have been picking up kind of throughout our quick adventure here, things that we've kind of sniped or found or grinded. We're just going to list some of these things up for what we think is kind of a fair price for them. Generally, I list things up for about 6 to 25,000 gold for these pieces. Some of them may not sell, and that's perfectly okay too. We can list them back up for a slightly lower click of gold. afterwards, but definitely some of these ones that you can't get very easily or not super farmed very often or might be very popular because of an upcoming PvP event, I'm definitely going to list up for a little bit higher. And obviously, I have a market watch video that will be coming out for June that will talk about the specifics of what's going to be hot in the month of June. So definitely stick around for that video because this is more of a general overview video where that will tell you specifically what you guys should be doing. Because at the end of the day, you guys probably have tons of AP, you probably got Telvar, RIT vouchers, all sorts of different currencies. And I want you guys to be able to convert them the most efficiently as possible into the different, gold making methods that you want. Because what's nice about what we're doing is it doesn't require you to actually grind gold in the traditional sense if you don't want to. If you remember the list that I showed you at the beginning, you guys could basically turn all your AP into gold, buy a bunch of different things, list it up on the Guild Trader, and just wash your hands of it, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done. You're going to slowly, passively see that income come into you, and then you'll be able to kind of work your way towards being, a tens of millionaire. And final thing I kind of wanted to show you is that you're able to also list up different items in the actual Guild Traders, but you are also able to go into the history tabs and you're able to see the different purchases. So you can actually see right now what is selling and for how much, which is exceptionally helpful for listing items, especially if you're trying to get either a deal on something, you're trying to see what's really popping in the market right now, because look at this, materials are just moving. You can see that there's tons of gold mats moving. You can see that there's also other sets like the Gourmand set, which is a very easy to farm set, and Galen just had a really nice sale. You can see tons of glyphs are selling. You can see alloys, you can see again, and this is probably in reference to Necrom coming out. I think a lot of people are getting materials ready for that to make new characters. We'll talk obviously about that, all sorts of detail when that comes out. Companion gear is another thing that you might start seeing sell a lot of because Necrom is going to bring in new companions. You can see stats like Mother Sara are still selling for healthy clicks. And this is kind of how you guys are able to go in and get a general idea of the marketplace itself. It's not perfect, obviously, because people could either be vastly underselling these items or overselling. That is always a possibility. Do not assume that just because it is a Mournhold, Vivek, Wayrest, or Elden Root trader that people are not listing things up for ridiculously below what they could be getting for them, but it is a great deal. For example, Plague Break, 16,180, which is a very weird denomination to sell a Plague Break for. What's nice about that is that's an AP set. A lot of you guys probably have AP right now. You could easily go and convert some of your AP into that and make some gold. And what's nice about what I'm showing you too is that if you're watching this on PlayStation or Xbox EU or PC, you can easily do this as well. In my description, I have the resources always linked to what you guys are able to look into to kind of help you guys price check different things. So always take a look at those different options that you have, but you can see there's tons of things in here from consumables to sets. You can see we just bought Crafty Alfiq earlier. There's a Crafty Alfiq sale. So that's why we're always looking to fill up our traders whenever we can and reuse those different methods that we had talked about kind of throughout this video. But dear friends, that's going to wrap up the video, not just because I'm losing my voice even throughout the recording of this video, but because I don't want this to become too convoluted. You guys can definitely see the bits and pieces that you guys can easily kind of replicate through here. Again, it's as simple as listing up and keeping your guild traders full. And you can fill them up with AP items. You can fill them up with Telvar items. You can guild flip. You can go through and you can farm a delve. You could farm a public dungeon. You could farm dailies. You could farm your crafting writs and sell out those gold materials that you're getting. You can farm anything and everything that you want. And stick around for the Market Watch video, which will be coming out potentially as soon as tomorrow or Wednesday, which will tell you specifically what's going to make you rich in the month of June and how you can profit off of it. Don't forget too, the video resource in here that kind of shows you every single set that sells really well, so that way you guys can kind of go through and look at that as well and go, ooh, these are all sets that are doing really hot in the market. So maybe I could list up some of these. And do not forget too, if you're new to the guild trading space, that it is okay to list up items and not have them sell right away. That is totally okay. Have some patience with it. You can see even during this video we were making sales on items that we had just listed up, and that's going to happen. Other times it's going to take a few days. It really just depends on the market, and it really depends on everything else that's kind of going on with the ESO economy. So that's why we always try to break it down into the most digestible pieces possible, and that's what I hope this video did for you guys, was kind of get those brain juices a-flowing, show you guys different ways that you are able to farm some different gold and kind of throw them up on the market. And yeah, that'll be the old video for you. As a reminder, we are doing our 3 giveaway drawings. The giveaway drawing is on the 1st of the month at midnight. To enter 3 ways. 1, be a subscriber. Not only are you entered into a giveaway, but you also help me get to 15,000 subscribers. Second thing you can do is leave a comment. Every comment that is not deleted for spam. So please, no suspicious links. And honestly, unfortunately, if you put any link, myself included, I can't even link my own videos in my own description. It will be deleted. So just try to avoid sketchy links, even if they're links to my videos, because apparently YouTube thinks that's sketchy, which is probably fair. And the third one is my favorite comment of the month, which granted is completely subjective. However, the other 2 aren't. So that's, it was just an added giveaway drawing because you guys write some really nice comments. So that's how we do them. That's how they'll be drawn. I want to thank you guys again for stopping by, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.
Remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.
I just want my freaking nose to stop being all, my throat to stop being all, this is just ridiculous to try to record a video and just pounding water here in the interim and trying to, make sure I don't sound all, too much like Lois Griffin. So I still hope the video was helpful because this was highly requested by you guys, but my voice sounds weird, that's why.